What's up, y'all? It's your girl Sang, and today we're actually going to be reacting to Kanye West. I guess he walked off of Tim Pool's podcast called Timcast. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't watch this podcast at all, and the only reason I want to check this out is because everybody seems to be talking about it. They said Kanye was supposed to be there for the full podcast, and I'm looking at the bar down here. They went on to talk for like over 2 hours, but apparently Kanye left after 10 minutes. Don't know. I've never seen this guy's content, never watched the podcast, but it involves Kanye. And apparently he did something and everybody's talking about it. So let's see what happens for ourselves on this podcast.
Or loved ones, or at least relaxed and enjoyed yourself. Okay. Over the past week, there was a particularly big news story that's resulted in a continued news cycle, which is now going on for over a week, which is in many ways unheard of. But right now, because Donald Trump went to dinner with Ye and Nick Fuentes, among others, he is now being denounced by Mike Pence, several Republican senators, and for whatever reason, this story, for many reasons I suppose people have made, this story has persisted till today. And we are able to actually sit down with several of the individuals involved in that story, notably Ye, Nick Fuentes, and Malinopolis, of course, who made the dinner happen. It's my understanding, or at least got the.
I had the dinner invite before I met Milo.
Okay, my bad. There you go. So we're gonna jump right into this story.
So I did hear about that, the dinner in Mar-a-Lago with Trump. Apparently, like he said, it was Kanye, and Kanye brought 3 people with him, one of them being Nick Fuentes. If you don't know who that is, the media is basically saying he's a white supremacist. I'm going to be real with you. I don't know Nick Fuentes' content all like that. I saw him for the first time when he was Sneeko brought him into like a live stream when he was talking to a bunch of people, and then Young Don ended up being in one of them at a different time period. I don't know. Like, is he a white supremacist from the little bit that I have seen? I have no idea. I can't even tell you, because he'll say some crazy outlandish stuff. But then if you see other like actual full clips of him, not just like small clips of him talking wild and reckless, then he don't really talk like that. So I don't know. I can't tell you one way or the other because I don't watch enough of his content to label him anything. But I will say this from the little bit that I have watched. He reminds me of one of those mixed kids that just deny a whole side of their family. So his name is Nick Fuentes, right? Nick Fuentes. And when you talk to him, in one of them videos with Sneeko, when he was explaining who he was like, yeah, I'm Irish. And somebody else was like, yeah, but you mixed too. You're not just Irish. And he just kept saying, no, I'm Irish. He was really denouncing that Fuentes side in whatever clip I saw for one of the Sneeko panels. So he reminded me of a lot of mixed kids I came up with and that my mom worked with, where they just was like, no, I'm only this and only that. It's like, you both. You got to recognize both sides. You are both.
Complicated it.
Absolutely. So we're gonna start with that. And there's a lot we want to talk about, and you know what, man, this is a very big story. A lot of people have questions about, what were Trump's intentions, why were certain people invited, and Trump, of course, has issued statements. So a lot of people want to know where he stands, and more importantly, what happened there and why. And there's also the questions about what Ye 24 means, and I'll keep that a little bit vague so that they can answer to that and speak more to that.
Doesn't that mean he's running for president? Because I think he said that in a video online. That's what Ye 24 means.
And then, of course, we're going to get into a lot of different issues. However, head over to timcast.com and become a member. We're going to have a members-only uncensored show, which will probably get a bit more in-depth on a lot of other issues. That I'll just leave it at that. Timcast.com, become a member, support our work, and we'll talk about more there. Smash the like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends. Joining us, as I mentioned, is we have Ye himself. Would you like to introduce yourself, good sir?
You did it.
There you go. I think everybody knows who you are. And which you gentlemen would like to introduce yourself?
Nicholas, please.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Nick Fuentes. First time here on the Timcast. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you do?
Oh, I'm a live streamer. I do a show called America First on cozy.tv.
All right. And
also, the reason Nick is on Cozy, I guess some stuff that he done talked about in the past was so wild, he got booted off of everything. From the way he explained it, remember what happened to Andrew Tate when they were just like it was like 4 banks in the UK closed out his account, said he couldn't bank there. He was banned from that. He was banned from Uber. He was banned from Airbnb. He got banned from all of these things, right? That's what happened to Nick Fuentes. He got banned from all these streaming platforms, but then it trickled into real life as well. So he also got banned from airlines, Uber, hotels, banks. So he said when he runs on Cozy, he has to accept like crypto to get paid. He has said something along them lines. It's wild. Yo, when you talk a certain way and people want to get you up out of here, it don't matter. Like, this doesn't mean I agree with what he's saying. I'm just saying how the system works. If they really want to unplug you and get you up out of here, that's crazy. Because the same thing happened to Andrew Tate. Now imagine that happening to an average person. That's wild. I think if it happens anywhere, because China's going through some crazy stuff right now. It'll probably happen over there first if it don't happen. You know what? Probably would happen in a Western country, though. If it don't happen over there, I could see that happening like in America or the UK first or something.
And of course, Milo, you were here a couple weeks ago.
Yes, I'm your best ever guest.
So we've been told that the episode
is.
with you was one of the best podcasts ever. People really enjoyed hearing you speak.
I think it's accurate.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Thanks for coming back.
Thanks. I was wondering how I was going to make it even more extraordinary the second time I visited, but I think I might have pulled it off.
Luke's here.
Total Sausage Fest tonight. Welcome. My name is Zukadowski of wearechange.org. Today I'm wearing my Epstein Didn't Epstein Himself t-shirt, which you could get on thebestpoliticalshirts.com. And I think we should be using that word a little bit more, just like, you know, this YouTube channel didn't Epstein itself. And if this YouTube channel is Epsteined, we will be streaming on Twitter. So yeah, I started a t-shirt company after YouTube demonetized me. So thebestpoliticalshirts.com, because you guys buy it. That's why I'm here. Thank you so much for having me.
And of course, Serge.
And I am Serge.com. Pleasure, guys.
All right. And I'll just pull up this story from The Hill, which is from earlier today at 5 p.m. Pence says Trump should apologize. It's wrong to give anti-Semite a seat at the table. This, of course, is related to a dinner that happened, and I was wrong a little on the details. So a dinner happened. Nick, you were there. Ye, you were there. I just want to start off by, how did this dinner come to happen, and what happened?
Look at this article. It says former Vice President Mike Pence on Monday said former President Trump was wrong to have dinner with white nationalist Nick Fuentes last week, but said he does not believe Trump is an anti-Semite or racist. President Trump was wrong to give a white nationalist, an anti-Semite, and a Holocaust denier a seat at the table. Is that who these three people are labeled as? I think he should apologize. Yo, I can already tell you right now, because Trump already said he's running again. He's not getting back in the White House. We already know Kanye never had a chance. He didn't have a chance last time. He does not have a chance this time. And personally, I'm tired of entertainers running for these things. I want somebody with some actual political background to get up in here. He not getting it either. This is just all for entertainment for us right now. That's all any of this is. It's just straight entertainment. But I don't. They're just like, this is this person and this person.
I was talking to Trump for about a month. We had scheduled the dinner in October, and then he announced for president. He pushed the dinner back to November. And I've been pulling together a campaign. And after I put up the DEF CON tweet, a bunch of people that have been canceled, like Alex Jones, I started getting in contact with other people that were now on the inside of the matrix. And Alex Jones, producer, said that Milo wanted to contact me. And here we are.
So that's how you guys got in contact?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, originally. And then I suggested that we bring in Nicholas as a enormous extra brain firepower that he is. Most extraordinarily brilliant political commentator of his generation.
So the Milo dude, out of the three people that Mike Pence described, so is he the Holocaust denier? Because it's obvious Fuentes is the white nationalist, right? From what Mike Pence said. Ye gotta be the anti-Semite, right? So would this guy be the Holocaust denier? Because he labeled three people, and these the three people. Who is this guy? He just said his name was Milo. I told y'all I don't watch this podcast. I have no clue who any of these people are outside of like Kanye, and I kind of know who Nick is.
And he's been treated just about as badly as anybody, so I thought he deserved to be in the room too. And yeah, that's pretty much how we got together.
So I have some questions about that, but we'll get through the dinner portion of, how exactly this happened, what went down. So this is how you get in contact, the three of you. How is it that Nick ends up invited to this dinner, and what happened?
Well, he was rolling with me. I was impressed with Nick, and I was like, just come to the dinner. And we had Karen Giorno pick us up from the airport. And there was a lot of back and forth. There's another gentleman named Jamar Montgomery that was with us. He's an engineer at Boeing, and who's it?
I'm telling him just we should raise everyone's volume.
Okay, cool. And we sat there, and it was like when Trump came in, I said, do you want to sit alone? He's like, no, bring your friends in. So a big thing is like Trump had no idea who Nick Fuentes was. But this whole, I just got to go right to the heart of this anti-Semite claim that's happening. This is something, if you read the definition, it says you can't claim that there's multiple people inside of banks or in media that are all Jewish or you're anti-Semitic. And that's the truth. Like, it's the truth. What are we talking about? And
elaborate. What do you mean? You mean?
I'm saying, like, I've been labeled anti-Semite, right? So there's different beliefs about our bloodlines, like the documentary that Kyrie posted. And in general, America has been left ignorant and history has been changed. So when we start questioning things that question the indoctrination, then you immediately get, you said debanked or what did you say happened to you? Or
demonetized, deplatformed.
Demonized, demonetized. And what's so beautiful about this time.
So just real quick, he is right. Like, a lot of our so he's black. I'm also black. I'm mixed, but because I'm black, I'm going to also speak on it. A lot of our black history has been erased as time has went along, right? So when you do start finding things out and questioning things, I mean, Ye is correct. People start looking at you sideways. Now, he was kind of aggressive how he came out there when the whole DEFCON 3 thing. We already did videos on this. We knew he was talking about certain people in like the music and fashion industry, but he put like a blanket statement out there so everybody got mad. That's really all that truly was. If he would have just kept it honed in on whoever he was actually mad at, and that person just happened to be Jewish, this would be a whole different story and narrative right now. But because he went about it the way he went about it, this is where we're at with Ye at the moment. But back to the claim. A lot of our history did get lost in translation, and a lot of that does come from slavery, us being moved about and everything. And it just, like I said in the video yesterday, which that caused, man, so many people are just mad about that. Y'all have to understand, I'm mixed. I grew up looking at both sides of the field. I didn't just grow up in one area, right? I grew up seeing how things function on my black side and on my white side. And my white side actually is Jewish. So I see how things function over here, how they act, how they talk to each other, how they work and all that. You learn about the Jewish laws, how Jewish children are raised in households, all of this, right? And then you see the black side of it. And you see how we come up, how we talk around our family members and everything. That victim mentality that is there, that a lot of people in the black community that just want to keep you down, where it's like, hey, the reason we can't get anywhere because it's the white man's fault. I don't like any of that. I don't like victim mentalities, period. I don't care what side of the fence you are on, but you see things from both sides as different. So it's funny how, like, I like including that in there, and the first thing everybody always harps to is like the black Hebrew Israelites. It's like, oh, they're crazy and they're this and that. It's like, I'll give it to you. Like, a lot of their videos don't paint them in the best light. They do seem crazy and harmful, right? But not all of them act like that. And if you sit down and you try to talk to some of them, because all they want to do is just be like, I'm a black Jewish person, and let me show you why, based on Bible and history and blah, blah, blah. all of them don't be on the street corner mass yelling at white people, and them videos is wild. I gotta be real with y'all. That do not paint y'all in the best light at all. We're gonna get back to this, but he is correct in our history being hidden away. It's the same way on my Jew side too. There's certain things that's been tucked away and hidden, and you gotta like learn on your own, because school not gonna teach you. School don't teach us none of this stuff. You know what we get in school? I've said this before. On the black side of things, right? School will be like, hey, y'all used to be slaves. Oh, and here's like a little bit of MLK sprinkled in there, Rosa Parks, and like, we're going to give you a little bit of Malcolm X. But slaves. That's about it. And they don't even give you the whole story on that, right? My Jewish side, all we ever learned in school every year, it never changed, Holocaust. Holocaust and Hitler was bad. But it never really dug into it deep to like really get into the story, right? Same way with the slavery. You never like really get into it. I had to learn a lot of it on my own. I remember I got a book. What was I? I had to been in like 5th or 6th grade. And the swastika was on the cover of the book. But the book was about a Jewish policeman who went through the Holocaust, right? And those were his stories and how he was able to catch certain Nazis and stuff. But that's what he decided to do for his book cover. I remember my mom, who's black, saw that book on my bed and ripped me a new one. Didn't even know what the book was about. She just saw the symbol. It was like, what are you doing with this? I'm getting yelled at. And then when she finally done, I'm looking at her. I'm like, Mom, the book is about such and such. And once I broke it down, she was like, oh, well, I still don't want to see that. And she's like, ran up out the room. I'm like, I was just learning about his, because like hearing his side of things on how he dealt with the Holocaust, right? Because I actually had family members that did not make it up out of the Holocaust. So hearing what he had to deal with, getting his way, surviving, catching people, all of that was interesting because I didn't learn that in school. Yet I got the book about the school library. So you gotta self-teach yourself a lot of things.
Is everyone got to see what's really been happening. And now we can really understand. We can see that Ron Emanuel was right next to Obama, and then Jared Kushner was right next to Trump. Ta-da!
But so we're getting right into it, I guess, right? I was hoping to go for the news first before we got into all of this stuff. I think the issue is one way to put it is you're expounding upon a localization issue that you've witnessed, right? Let me clarify. There are a handful of people that you see are Jewish in a certain place, and then you associate Judaism with the power, whereas I view that as not relevant to it. Like, yeah, you're substantially more powerful than I am, but I don't view what you're doing as an issue of black people.
Yeah, but have you ever heard the term the black vote? So it's okay to put us in one net, but it's not okay for me to put them in one net.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's the basis of the hypocrisy that people have been thinking about and knowing about and realizing for decades. We were all wondering how this dam was going to break. Everybody in the country was wondering, what is the root of this hypocrisy? Why can people talk about white people a certain way? Why can't they talk about that group a certain way? And the wretched and wicked and oppressive prevailing orthodoxy of cancel culture, well, it turned out that the one thing that was going to break the dam was the biggest star in the world, and it took the biggest star in the world to do it. And now the dam is broken.
So let me tell you my issue. I don't like identitarianism. You guys are familiar with what that is?
Well, they started it, and they've been visiting on us. We're trying to break it.
When I was asking you about running for president, you immediately said, well, you'd be good for the black vote. And I said, is that because I'm black? No, not just because of that. So is that, are you doing the same thing?
I didn't say that was the only reason. I said it was because you're personable to the common person, and you probably would do well with the black vote. Absolutely.
Just because I'm black, there's a lot of black people that don't like me.
Of course. I think race plays a role in a lot of things. Absolutely. And I think that
I think the construct of race has really been forced upon us as just something for us to be woke about and just constantly talk about and use it as these like walls.
Couldn't you say the same thing about Judaism?
Well, let's look at the facts of what I'm saying, though. If you say in this neighborhood where they gerrymander, there's this amount of time. So, hey, I wasn't doing that. I was just gerrymandering the lawyers and the Hollywood executives and the people at the bank that debanked me and then froze my accounts. You know, it's like we want to jump into protecting the idea that we can't put a net around something, right? But that's been my job as a producer, to take, a Roy Ayers sample and put a James Brown drum and put it within a 2-minute, 3-minute song. That's the way I actually think, and that's the way I talk. And now this morning I found out that they were trying to put me in prison, because what they did was I moved $140 million into JP Morgan. And I said, I want to talk to Jamie Dimon. Like, look at me. I'm just going in naive, multi-billionaire. Like, maybe Jamie Dimon will let me in on some deal flow. Wrong. And I'm just like banging my hands like, I want to meet with Jamie. And I start complaining online, and then they debank me.
Y'all saw how he used the terminology. I just want you all to be really clear. He said, this morning, I almost went to jail, and then within telling his story of what happened this morning, which was yesterday or whenever this podcast happened, he said, here I am, a multi-billionaire. What did I tell y'all in that Kanye video? Don't let the media lie to you. How you gonna let the media tell you if somebody broke? He know what he got in his bank account. My man just called himself a multi-billionaire. He's still a billionaire. Because when we did the math in that video, all the math that all the other articles was coming out, their math didn't even make sense. Like, nothing made sense.
For complaining. And so I'm about to get debanked. They're like, you need to go to Trump's, the bank, AXO, whatever. You got to go. And I'm like, I've been trying to buy my own bank for the longest. And then we figured out how to get my own bank. It's like 50 million, 75 million. So I'm about to buy my own bank. But then as they're about to take the money out, here comes Adidas with a $275 million bill for marketing funds that they agreed upon. Because I said to them, hey, I'm the marketing, give me the marketing fund, which proves by the response they got when they, stole the designs and said, we're going to not call them Yeezys anymore. So this is what I was already fighting Adidas for. So I'm fighting Gap, get out of Gap, fighting Adidas. And then I deal with this little bit of noise from, Zionism from the fashion world, where they use this plant named Gabby, who's obviously like some kind of CIA agent, knows nothing about fashion. This is a certain thing. When someone can't dress, you know that they're not like a fashion person. They're just there as like the society, like the control.
Yo, my man just says some random fashion chick has to be a CIA agent. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. That sounds goofy. That sounds super goofy, bro. Talking about if you can't dress, it's like, to be fair, Kanye, we could say the same about you, bro, because your designs look like they were made for homeless people. Like, I ain't even gonna hold you, my guy. Like, I'm just being honest, y'all. I'm gonna give it to people when they deserve it, but I'm also gonna hit back. Like, I never liked his clothing design.
That they try to use with celebrities, which has now been broken, right? Because where it broke. Okay. I want to get on like LeBron in a second, but I'm gonna come back to this and just talk about this morning where. I'm not going to mention her name because she's a nice lady, but someone at Cohen Resnick tells me, and I tell all of my finance people, never use the term a lot, but they said, okay, you're going to have to pay a lot of taxes. And that made me feel like they're just like waiting, like we finally got them. We finally can put him in jail. And I was like, can I still run for president in jail? I found out I could. So I was like, okay, that's fine then. It'll be okay.
But if you were Jeffrey Epstein, they wouldn't touch your bank account. They would allow you to break the rules, regulations, just like JP Morgan and Chase did, just like Deutsche Bank did. So there is an issue to bring up with that. But when it comes to the race stuff, I think this is an important discussion to have because I
have to complete this thought. You guys got to.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, because I'm talking about literally finding out that they were trying to put me in prison this morning. Watch this. So
this morning.
Yes. So not come to my house this morning, but I found out, okay, so they put a $75 million hold on 4 of my accounts. And then they said, you owe a lot of taxes. Took me like 6 hours to find out how much a lot was. They said, well, around $50 million. Now I'm going to different CFOs like, okay, so would this be tax evasion because I'm obviously not the most financially literate person on the planet. I was just a child.
Bro, who's your accountant? That's all I want to know. Who is your accountant for all of this? This should be their job. Why are you calling CFOs asking if it's tax evasion? Get an accountant.
Child, basically, like when you become famous, you stop growing at that point. I became famous at age 24 and I had handlers around. I had my mom around, different things. And it was always like you go from one handler to the next handler to the next handler. So now I'm having, I get
super weird
to actually learn how to run a company. I get to learn how to to count. Really, I was like Pablo in a movie. It was like I didn't even know where to put the money. Like literally making $300 million cash, but you're just like a high-priced. We're not going to use the S word just because it's just like too passe to use it. But it's like next year I was supposed to make $500 million in royalties, and like no one needs this amount of money. But when I would work on homeless shelters and ideas, I'd have a contractor, we won't say what race, and they'd be tearing down the contracts. It's all about, position. It's not about the amount of money that you have. And, to come in here, I feel like it's a setup to be like defending. I'm not going to go through another, like I'm literally going to walk the F off the show if I'm sitting up here having a, talk about you can't say that it was Jewish people that did it when every sensible person knows that. I mean, Jon Stewart knows what happened to me and they took it too far. It was like American History X. Like my head was on the side of the curve and the exact people that I called out kicked my head. We found out that my trainer was a MK Ultra Canadian intelligence.
He worked in the defense research and development in the Canadian military, essentially working on psyops
Who's
in
this
the
guy?
Canadian military. This is Harley Pasternak.
Yeah, what I'm saying is, look, they tried to medicate me. I was exhausted. They wrongly diagnosed me, and they when I asked them how much lithium did you want to put me on exactly, it took them 4 days to answer because they were embarrassed about the amount, right? And I refused to take this, right? You understand that if I had taken the medication, I would not be here, and it would have been, he was deeply troubled. We miss him. We love his music, though.
Well, they would have Britney Spears you. I mean, look at
they would have Michael Jackson
or worse, yeah.
So look at what they did.
Look at what they did to Britney. When she went in, she was tired, she was exhausted, she was in a bad way. But 10 years of that medication wrecked her brain. You can see it now.
Yeah.
You can see there's not much of her left.
You mentioned Pasternak was the name.
I will say this. The medication part. I don't believe in taking pills personally because I believe pills will mess you up internally. So what they are saying, if they're just like, oh, you can see they gave her pill. I don't know. I don't know what they gave Britney. I don't know what they did to Kanye. But I do agree with the fact that medication will like destroy you because we not doctors. So we don't fully know what's going in our body. If they be like, oh, I'm going to give you this for this, we kind of got to just take their word on it because we don't really know. We don't know what they're putting in us. So like he said he's had a handler since 20. First off, that's weird. That's weird to have handlers and all these people around you as a celebrity, but I guess that's their lifestyle, whatever. But if that's the case and he's been trusting people that's supposed to have his best interests at heart, but in reality, they're trying to just keep him drugged and acting a certain way. That medication, that long-term use of stuff that's not good for you to begin with, can damage your brain and your insides. That's why I like doing stuff holistically when it comes to like trying to heal myself and better myself. But
yes, Harley Pasternak. That's the text message that you posted that we were talking about before.
That's the lobotomy.
Yeah.
Before the show, obviously, I'm getting a bunch of messages from people. People are hitting me up, and they're like, "You shouldn't host them. They're anti-Semitic. They're white supremacists. They're racist." I do find it funny or weird or whatever that, Nick, they call you a white supremacist. You're here working with or for, one of the most powerful black men, one of the wealthiest and most famous. But a lot of people were saying on the right specifically, don't platform them. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, I want to understand what they're thinking and why they're thinking it. They're involved in what may be the biggest news story of the past week, and we have an opportunity to sit down and talk.
Because the red media controls both sides. It just said it as simple as possible. Jared Kushner was next to Trump. Rahm Emanuel was next to Obama. But see, since 1940, go ahead.
I was going to say, isn't that an issue of these individuals? Like you're extrapolating.
I'm going to order with the last of my money that's available in a different account. I'm going to order a PJ before I sit and have another Lex Friedman setup conversation. When I'm literally they're trying to put me in jail for my opinion.
But I get that.
I'm not going to have that opinion. I don't care about people. Those are bots that are trying to tell you. We realize, look at Pence. He sold Trump out. You get what I'm saying? It's like I would have never wanted to do anything that hurt Trump. I'm on Trump's side. Trump said things that hurt me. He lied about me, but I mean, he's known for lying. And when people used to tell me that, he's a liar, it's like, I went into the trenches for Trump. That's another conversation. There was no one in my position that wore that hat. And all of my surroundings exhausted me. It was like death by 1,000 questions. I know I'm jumping to another thing, but what I'm saying is, I know you got a rep for your people online, but it's you got a person in real life that I'm not with it, bro. I lost the money for the freedom of speech, and that's what makes me the only American that we know that really deserves to run the country, because everyone else, your boy DeSantis, Trump, whoever they raise in a petri dish over on the Democrat side is going to play the game.
Look, and here's what I was trying to get to. You went right into the anti-Semite thing. I think it's something that should be talked about. But if you start bringing this up, you're going to ask my opinion on it. I'm going to disagree with you.
I didn't ask your opinion on it. You jumped into it.
But
I don't care about your opinion. I like your opinion on how we win an election, but I don't care about anybody's opinion, bro. I lost. They tried to put me in jail. They blocked $2 billion I had. Like, but I told Farrakhan, I said, look, is it anti-Semitic for me to say his name out loud? Like, I told the minister. Yeah, the minister. Like, I told
Obama met with him too.
Oh, he was. Yeah, I mean, the Jewish people allowed Obama to meet with the minister. So Farrakhan said, well, did he have the money? The contract for the next 4 years, if I hadn't done anything, would have been $500 million a year for 4 years. What I was fighting for was the IP, so my children could, I'm sorry, sometimes I think about 7 thoughts at one time, because anything I see, I come up with like 7 answers to it and then just choose what it is. But the thing is, when I said my children, the reason why my brain kind of blocked, because it's like God is saying, your children are going to be okay. Baby mama's got money, right? God is using me. He's breaking me down, removing all of the, richest person, all of this, so I can serve him. And the more and more those things are taken away from me, the more I can be empty and be a vessel and be able to be used. And right now, it's like, you're not going to take, if we can't, you're not going to take my pain away, right? The Jewish people say, it's the Holocaust, this happened, and you can't say anything about it. We can't take their pain away. No one's going to denounce the fact that they tried to lock me up. That's what, because every time I'm just holding stride, and it's like, I thought I was more Malcolm X, but I find out I'm more MLK, because as I'm getting hosed down every day by the press and financially, I'm just standing there. And when I found out that they tried to put me in jail, it was like a dog was biting my arm, and I almost shed a tear, almost, but I still walked in stride through it. Yeah.
I think they've been extremely unfair to you.
Who was they though? We can't say who they is, can we?
Corporate press. I'm not using I don't use the word as the way I guess you guys use. I'm talking about.
It is them though, isn't it? I mean, because because when you think about it, consider it. In 2018.
What do you mean it's not?
What do I mean? Like, okay, so how about? Are you leaving?
Are you afraid of the press?
That's why he left.
I'll say it right now. You guys want to bring that stuff up, and then think we're not going to have a conversation.
Have the discussion.
Like you think he's going to come in here and say, "Here's my pain, here's my suffering." I'm going to say, "I hear you," and then he's going to say, "And it was Jewish people," and I'm going to be like, "Okay, but don't you consider?" It's like, I'm not going to do this. I refuse.
Make sure he's cool.
All right, go for it. Luke and I will have a conversation. So I can't.
All right. So they said he never came back. I wasn't expecting him to leave off of that. In my mind, the way everybody was hyping this up, I'm thinking they was going back and forth like full-blown argument with words and stuff. That was just like who is they? Say who is they. And I get why Tim's like, look, man, I got a platform. I'm trying to feed my family. And like he was like, I think it's the media, but I don't see it how y'all see it. They was trying to get Tim to say something he wasn't comfortable with saying, and that's what made him walk out. Bruh, he's not a billionaire. Like he doesn't have that type of money. He apparently has YouTube podcaster money, which I mean probably ain't bad. My man probably got millions. Actually, let's look it up because I've never watched this before, so I have no clue what he makes. But Timcast IRL, and his name is Tim Pool. Let's just do Tim Pool net worth. It's Google, so it's more than likely wrong, but just to have like an idea. Here we go. Tim Pool net worth for 2022 is $5 million. His annual income is $500,000. His profession is YouTuber and podcaster. Okay. I mean, that sounds like it makes sense. Could be. He's definitely a millionaire, if anything. Depending on how many years he's been doing this and how long this has been going, he's more than likely a millionaire. But I mean, to want him to jump off the bridge because you jumped off the bridge is kind of wild. That's super wild. Yeah, I guess that was Kanye. This would have been great if Kanye stayed the full, like it says it was they went for 2 hours and 11 minutes. This would have been great if Kanye stayed the full 2 hours, but it looks like he left at the 20-minute marker. So instead of 10 minutes, he was in there for like 20 minutes. Oh, Kanye, come on, man. You could have stayed and kept talking. But that makes me wonder, like, if this is what got him to get up and walk off, he wants to run for president. So imagine being in a presidential debate. They gonna go way harder about stuff outside of, like, this right here. Are you gonna walk out of the presidential debates? Is that what's gonna get you to go? And also him bouncing around to multiple thoughts, you can't really do that in debates either. You gotta have, like, that concise answer in so many seconds because everybody gotta talk. Yeah. Well, like I said in the beginning, Ye can run for president. That's fine. He's not winning. I don't see him winning anything, which is fine. I don't want him to win. I don't think Trump's going to win either. I don't see it happening. If DeSantis is going to be running, I think DeSantis might have a shot on the Republican side of things. And then on the Democratic side of things, I don't even know who would be like a decent option on that side. They don't even feel secure when they be talking to his advisors and stuff, and they be like, "Hey, is Biden gonna run again?" And they just be like, we just gonna see what happens." And they be like, "What, you got him running again, right?" They be like, we'll see." They don't even seem confident in that man. It's so funny. Yeah, I guess that's what happened on the Timcast podcast with Kanye. That's what everybody was talking about, but. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you never miss when I drop a video. And until next time, you already know who it is. It's Sam.